Listening to Slice of Seattle on KUGR, Cougar College Radio.
Good evening, everybody. This is Slice of Seattle on KUGR, Cougar College Radio. It is 6:01 p.m. on January 30th, and we are back for episode number 2 of Season 3 of the podcast, giving you updates, hot takes, and hopefully talking to some important people. We have a packed booth today. We have the incomparable Connor Seuferling, the incredible Abe Daniel, and unfortunately, Connor Orr. How are you doing today, guys?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Ready to be here.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Great day of classes. Ready to talk.
Said it's unfortunate that I'm here, but you're lucky I'm here. I got that ball knowledge.
Sure, but I think you're the only one here who brought a notebook and their computer, and so what are we even doing here? I know, that's what I'm saying. What is going on, guys? We need to talk about the elephant in the room is how you talk about it. The Seahawks are in the Super Bowl.
Heck yeah, baby. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, we're so back. We are so back, and I think the first question we have on the itinerary today is, of course, did any of us think that this was going to happen at the start of the year?
Yeah, I mean, the super biased fan in me says yes, but realistically, I didn't. I really thought we were going to be, a divisional team at best. I didn't know what Sam Darnold was going to play like, especially after the Rams game. I was kind of I was high up, right, because offense was amazing, and then he throws 4 interceptions week 11, and I kind of got worried that we were just going to waste this amazing defense in JSN's historic year. But he picked it up, we ran the table, and yeah, I'm just happy. It's a great day to be a Seahawks fan, great year as well.
Yeah, I mean, I never got the predictions of everybody saying we're going to finish last in the division or in the NFC West. I saw that consistently in the preseason. We blew that out of the water. I never thought that was going to happen. I really thought we were going to make the playoffs. But NFC Championship game, I even thought that was a stretch for a while. It's first year of Sam Darnold. He's got to get his legs underneath him. A 14-win season, but it was with O'Connell, right? So he's got one of the best guys who's good at developing quarterbacks in the league. One of the best offensive minds in the league. It's like you're in a great situation there. And he fumbled in the playoffs with the Vikings, right? So it's like, is he really going to get past the divisional round? But hey, here we are. He's proved us all wrong. It was all just about getting past the Rams. That was the biggest, obstacle for him. And hey, he rang that bell, and here we are, baby. How about you, Mr. Orr?
Yeah, I didn't think the Seahawks would make the NFC Championship game. I was expecting they went 10-7 for the past couple seasons, so I was expecting maybe a little bit better than that. Considering this season Sam Darnold was coming off of with the Vikings, I thought he'd probably be just fine in Seattle, better than Geno Smith. But, obviously 14 wins, so that was something. But I'll figure, even if they got the one seed, I was like, they ain't going to make it past the NFC Championship game at the very least. Because I was like, Sam Darnold, he's going to mess up. I literally told myself before the game, I was like, there's literally no way he throws more than 2 touchdowns. That's what I thought. I was like, there's no way he throws more than 2 touchdowns. And I was proved wrong. So, yeah, I just didn't think they'd make it this far. Maybe I thought, divisional, maybe conference championship. I thought maybe that was a stretch, but I was kind of proven wrong. And I think everyone's saying Seahawks would finish last. In hindsight, it's easy to say oh, that's a crazy take, but honestly, I disagree. I think that I think I was high on the Cardinals. This is gonna make me sound really bad, but I thought that I thought the Cardinals would finish second. I in the division going into the year. I was like, you know what? I thought Kyler Murray might come back, and I was like, Trey McBride. Let's see what they can do with their defense. And
who's gonna be first?
Either the Rams or the Niners. I didn't know. I flipped those. I was like the Seahawks. I know I said earlier, I thought they'd win more than 10 games, but now honestly, if I'm being honest, I thought they would win probably 8 games. I thought that was fair. I thought that was fair because I was like, Sam Darnold, I don't know how he's going to play. He would be solid, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting much from the Seahawks this year.
You just walked yourself into a hot fire of trash right there. I mean, come on, man. You're in a room full of Seahawks fans.
I don't care.
2, dude, the freaking Cardinals, man. I mean, we all knew Kyler Murray was playing COD, in the locker room, dude. It was over from the beginning.
Hey, they started 2-0, and they almost beat the Niners week 3, almost. Emphasis on almost.
Yeah. I'm still not buying it.
How do you bring the most notes out of all of us and have your computer and then come up with the worst take?
That's so easy. That is so easy to say in hindsight. What a terrible take. But if they would have finished 10-7, that wouldn't have even been crazy.
You started off that sentence just fine. You're right. Okay, looking back in hindsight, it's easy to say it was a bad take.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. Maybe there was a few people that were justified in thinking that the Cardinals were going to be slightly better than they were, or that the Seahawks were not going to be. Maybe they finished like 7-10 or something. Okay, like whatever.
Yeah.
But to bring the Cardinals into this and be confident that they had a really good shot at the playoffs.
At the beginning of the season,
No,
they did.
no.
They were 2-0, almost 3-0.
You lost me with the Cardinals being
And
higher than
there was
the Seahawks.
yeah.
Bro, and honestly, the entire season, like, they were able to produce well with Jacoby Brissett. It was just their defense. And obviously, like, that's a whole side of the ball, so you can't just forgo that. But still.
They're just not a winning franchise, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, even a couple years ago when they had DeAndre Hopkins and they started out like 7-1 or something like that, and Quinn Dunbar got fried when the Seahawks played him. And I still had no, like, worries about them. I just don't ever take them as, like, a serious team. Like, they're almost, like, I don't know if this is a bad take, but, like, when the Dolphins were good a couple years ago in Mike McDaniel's first year, like, I didn't take them serious. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they're good, but they're just never going to be that team. You know what I mean? So that's crazy. If you would have said the Seahawks were third, you know, I'd be like, okay, Rams, Niners, two teams that are always good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Cardinals, you lost me.
Connor, they literally make edits right now about people saying exactly what you just said.
I know.
I mean,
freezing cold takes.
exactly, freezing cold. Oh, it's ridiculous.
There was literally no point in bringing this up in conversation. Again, you just walked yourself into that corner.
No,
I
you
don't
asked
get
me.
it.
You asked me. Like, did you see this coming from the Seahawks? And I was like, I mean, kind of, but at the same time, no, because I didn't think that they'd be that good in the division.
But then you brought up the
And
Cardinals.
honestly,
it's like, no,
when
you
they
just
played
suck.
when they played the
Cardinals
Cardinals, like the first time they played the Cardinals season, like it was a close game.
Okay, name 5 Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, hold up. Okay, Trey McBride,
Okay.
Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett. What's the running back? His name is something Benson. Oh man, I'm gonna forget it.
Not even the starter.
No, James Conner. There you go.
Name a defense.
Oh no, he was on my fantasy team. Byron Murphy, no.
I think he's on the Vikings.
Oh,
the corner. The actual Pro Bowl level D tackles on our team.
He was on my fantasy team. Their wide receiver. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Hold on, I have to look him. Oh, Michael Wilson. That was their other wide receiver.
You're about to look him up. That wouldn't even counted, bro.
No, because I knew
Use
he's
the
number
MacBook
14.
there, bud.
3 minutes to name those players.
I know, God. What's going on there?
Just
bud?
saying.
Yeah, if you're wondering why we're maybe ganging up on Connor Orr a little bit, he is a 49ers fan, so, I mean, we're definitely going to have to clown him for that. But, guys, we have a listener question that was sent in from Grant Chisholm, a friend of the Daily Evergreen, friend of the Cable 8 Productions, friend of KUGR as well. What you got, Connor?
He's also a Rams fan.
This is true. And actually, his question is Rams-related.
Oh, of course.
He's asking us to react to Puka Nakua's new haircut. I don't know if you guys have seen this at all. For the listener, I'm showing it to the boys in the booth right now. I don't know if you've seen the Puka Nakua haircut. Let's give it a nice little 1 out of 10. What's the rating here, Abe?
I'm gonna give it a cool 4 out of 10. I don't know if it fits him. He's trying to copy what JSN did when he cut off his dreads to have the next year had a great season. It's not gonna happen, Puka. Although you're a good receiver, but no.
I low-key rock with the vibe of it. Like, I get where he's going. The execution was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to go like a 3, not going to lie. I just
3?
don't like it. Yeah.
I concur.
I don't even care, so no rating.
Bro.
From
On the new haircuts, you always gotta put the camera up. That's
Precisely.
plus 15 attributes.
Precisely.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly. I'm mirroring you guys probably 4 or 3. It's atrocious. Also, it's just Puka Nakua, so I just don't like that guy.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, guys, we got to get to our first talking point of the day. Drake May and Sam Darnold are facing off in the Super Bowl. Pats versus Seahawks, a repeat of the 2015 Super Bowl. Hopefully the result is just a wee bit different. But the question for today is Drake May, Sam Darnold. Who is the better quarterback?
Yeah, so
Are we
that's
serious?
it's tough, right? Because all
bro.
season we heard Drake May MVP conversation with Matthew Stafford. But if I told you to close your eyes and think of a Drake May game, you couldn't name one. I bet my life on you couldn't name one. I could name a Sam Darnold one. 346 passing yards, 3 touchdowns.
No. He played the Jets. When he put like 35 points. I know it's the Jets. I know.
Jets!
You guys play
Against
no.
a sub 500 team. Against a sub 500 team.
They haven't played anyone. They literally haven't played anyone. Is that you're gonna hold that against him?
Game. Yeah, because his numbers aren't inflated. Dude, they're not playing. we played their schedule. They had the easiest schedule since the 1999 Rams, I believe.
Dude, go through your schedule. You guys played like no one.
I will say, we did have a pretty easy schedule just to get on top of that. Yes.
Now, if you compare the two, that's where it's like we played the best offense in the league twice. We played the best defense in the league and would have scored 40 on them if not for a Clinton Kubiak triple option pass from Cooper Kupp that he got intercepted, as well as the Steelers, who I know not the best team in the world, but they're a wild card team.
They're a competent team.
If they would have played the Niners once and the Steelers, that would have been their toughest games of the year, and we played 3 times the amount of tough games as they did. Even though we did have a couple of games where cupcakes. Looking back, the Buccaneers, I don't know why we had to play them during their insanity run. But yeah.
That was a close game. It was a close game.
It was, 3-point game.
I don't remember the total, but the fumbles. Yeah. That's really what sold me recently. I can't remember, but in the playoffs so far, the number of times he's gotten lucky with his own team recovering the fumble, again, I want to say it's nearing that double-digit mark, and it's like just 14 or something. Yeah, exactly, and it's concerning. And so obviously you want to take a full body of work, right? And I think when you look at both players and their stats for the season, I mean, Drake May's season was incredible. 31-8 TD to INT ratio is great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I definitely think he has an MVP case, and I think he has a better MVP case than Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah.
But the important thing is, it's not about the body of work at the moment, right? It's heading into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about the quarterbacks?
Yeah,
it's a status check, right?
Yeah.
I feel better about Sam Darnold at this point
100%.
in the season, right?
100%.
With the way that Drake May has been more careless with the football, has not elevated his team to the same extent that Sam Darnold has. Even in the 49ers game when they blew him out, right, 41-6, like he only threw 17 passes and only completed 12. He did exactly what he needed to do, though. He didn't turn over the ball. He was efficient. He was quick. He hit the long ball when he needed to. And that's the kind of thing that we are not seeing out of Drake May currently. I feel a little shakier about him. He's more mobile. Yeah, he's probably got better arm talent. Yeah, he's probably on his best day, just an overall he's going to have a bigger boom than Sam Darnold's going to have, right? But right now, Sam Darnold is playing the best football of his life, and I think that best football is better than what Drake May's best football has been so far. So I'm taking Sam Darnold right now. Yeah.
All right, quality control. Let's hear it.
So the question is, who's better? Because if the question is who's better, it's Drake May. But if we're saying who do I want going into the Super Bowl right now?
Yeah.
Right now, if we're just looking at playoffs, I mean, I feel like you have to choose Sam Darnold, but
Clip that.
That's the same conversation to me right now, though.
It's
right
not
now,
because it's like if I can choose one to be on my team for the next 10 years, I'm taking Drake May.
In the Super Bowl, though, you're taking Sam Darnold. See, I'm the same way. Off of like their potential, Drake May has all the potential in the world. But
I also would say, first off, Drake May has had to go up against way tougher defenses. When is the last time the Seahawks played a good defense? Because I can't really remember. The Texans? That was what, back in October?
The Rams
in October? The Rams are not a good defense. The Rams defense is not a good defense. They were terrible down the stretch. They allowed over 30 points a game their last like 6-ish games.
To be honest, Sam practices against the best defense in the NFL multiple times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not that doesn't
take in itself.
What? No, he doesn't play against them. He does. It's not like that counts.
No pads on. It's okay.
And he hasn't even been practicing recently, anyways. But I don't know. It's kind of tough. Like when you go up against a cupcake schedule the entire year, and then you have to go up against really like 3 top 10. You could honestly even say like top 7 defenses. Then it's a lot more difficult, especially behind their really terrible offensive line. But I feel like just if you're looking at straight, who would you rather have? I guess you kind of have to say Sam Darnold based off momentum.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if you put Drake May behind the Seahawks offensive line, it's different. But I don't know. And also because Drake May had to play in the snow, and Sam Darnold got to play in Seattle where it's like 45 degrees.
Well, the snow wasn't until what? Like
I mean, it wasn't until midway through the third quarter. And honestly, they did kind of get lucky with like the I forget his name, Stidham, like with his like fumble, whatever that was. That was terrible. But still, like they were going up against the Broncos, so cut them a little slack.
Yeah. The thing for me that seals it, I would say I just think Sam Darnold is just better. I know this is a team thing, not necessarily an individual thing, but look, Seahawks play a depleted 49ers roster. What was the final score? It was 41-6. The Patriots play a Bo Nix-less Broncos team. What was the final score? 10-7, right?
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
But isn't that
Seahawks beat up on a depleted 49ers team?
They didn't have it. Yeah, you just said it. Depleted. I'm not saying
the Broncos didn't have Bo Nix.
Yeah, but he's not going up. It's not Drake May versus the Broncos offense. It's Drake May versus the Broncos defense.
Still, all I'll say is like when the Seahawks have played a bad / depleted team, they've beaten up on them.
Yeah, they've done what they needed to do.
When the Patriots have done it, they have barely squeaked out the win. And for that reason,
not against bad teams. Not against bad teams. I mean, they were beating up bad teams all year in the regular season. When you get to the playoffs, you have to play tougher teams.
They didn't beat the 22-2 Seahawks that are on the Raiders in Week 1. I don't know. I just feel like Sam Darnold, it's tough, right? Because like when he has games like he did in the NFC Championship game, you're amazed, right? You're seeing why he was drafted so high from USC. But when he has the for instance, like when the wild card game, where he was like kind of more of a game manager, Jimmy Garoppolo, but just a little bit better. You see why he kind of had the career he had. But I think in the playoffs, like if I need one to throw for the 230 yards and hit his stride, have a 65% completion percentage, I trust Sam Darnold right now to actually just do his job. Like Drake May, it just feels like if he doesn't have his legs or the fumbling, as Connor mentioned earlier, then it's just, I don't know, it's just more of a gamble. Even though long term might be he's going to be better, but
yeah. We're going to stick on the Darnold topic, and our next talking point is, of course, the Sam Darnold oblique situation. I just kind of want to get your guys' feelers about this. How concerned are we with the Sam Darnold oblique situation? I know this is kind of technically old news because this goes back to before the 49ers game, and clearly that was not a factor. But I just want to ask you what you're kind of feeling about that after the 49ers game, after the Rams game, third playoff game, Sam Darnold oblique. How would you be feeling about this?
I think I had the same reaction as like a lot of Seahawks fans. You have a first round bye week, you worked all season to have it, and then during your bye week, your quarterback just hurts his oblique or whatever. Yeah. And then there's all those stories perpetuated by Adam Schefter with what I think he's just like engagement baiting by all his like Sam Darnold hasn't thrown. It's like they had to practice on Thursday. You normally, if your oblique's hurting, why would you even throw on Friday? Yeah. And then Saturday, of course, he ended up throwing, I think it was 90 minutes before the game, which is his normal routine, I think he said. Mm-hmm. But it was weird that it followed the next week. Once again, led by Adam Schefter saying, it's still an oblique issue, even though we saw him. I thought he was fine. I saw a couple hits from the Niners, and he fell to the ground and he got back up. I didn't really see too many issues. So I kind of felt like they blew it out of proportion. But I was definitely worried because that first injury report after our bye week, I was like, why is half of our team on this injury report? And I don't know if it was like strategic move from McDonald to like make the Niners or the Rams think that like, oh, we're like short-handed out this, we're hurt or whatever, so they're going to play like, oh, we have a chance. But it was just weird in my opinion.
Yeah, I've seen some videos that made me slightly concerned, just the way he looked a little ginger in practice. That's no pun intended. He was walking gingerly, guys.
If only Connor Simmons was here.
Well, if only. But it doesn't really worry me. It doesn't. I mean, I can get on that train too, where I just think sometimes the media can easily blow things out of proportion. I mean, he looked fantastic. I think the game he had against the Rams was the single-handedly maybe the best game of his career. Mm-hmm. I think there's an argument for that. Yep. And so I'm not worried. I think he looks great, and it would take re-aggravating something during this upcoming week to really make me concerned, and we haven't heard anything about that yet. So Sam Darnold, I would say 90% to full go for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think it's really a concern at all. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, he only threw 17 passes like when it first broke, and it was like, okay, like you guys won by 35, but it was like he didn't do anything, so like, are we sure he's, first off, ready for the playoffs? And then second off, are we sure that he's 100% healthy? Are they holding him back? And then, he goes for like 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, and you're like, okay, he's probably fine. Because if they're still saying that like last week, he's still a little banged up, like, and now there's like reports like, oh, he's like limited at practice, or I'm not even sure if he's even practicing or whatever, but still like has a week off for a reason. So, and they're not, and like, going back to the 49ers, like, they're not going to be practicing at the electric substation. So, like, I'm not really quite worried about that, to be honest, for the Seahawks.
Yeah, you've really changed your tune from the last episode when you were on. Because I very distinctly remember you saying, you were like, hey, Sam Darnold's oblique is hurt. Sam Darnold's oblique is hurt, guys. I think this might be, the 49ers might win this game. It might be 24-21 49ers. Sam Darnold's oblique hurts. He can't throw the ball.
I didn't say it like
Connor,
that.
can you tell me what the score of that game was? Real quick?
It was 41-6.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like Sam Darnold was like impressive in that game. He did his job. I'm not trying to say that he didn't do anything because he had that touchdown to JSN, but it's not like he really had to do much anyways. Kenneth Walker was crazy in that game, 3 touchdowns.
And that throw to JSN was crazy. Rolling to the left, throwing left across.
Threw it against Darrell Luter Jr.
And it was a good pass though. It was
a good throw. It was a good throw.
It was one of those Matthew Stafford, like you look this way, but I'm throwing it that way, and it looked like a throwaway to me. I remember we were at Seuferling's house to watch the game.
Oh no!
And after Rashid Shaheed got the kick return for a touchdown, and then to start the game, and then we got a field goal, and then the Sam Darnold touchdown to JSN, and it was just amazing to see. Connor's like,
no, it was horrible at that house because it was just like me, and Nate. And then Sam. It was that we were the only 3 49ers fans. And it was just like, it would be one thing if we lost like 35-21. Like, we still lost by a decent amount, but it was like, there was at least some points in the game where it was close. It was like as soon as the first 13 seconds happened, it was like, I had a feeling deep down. I was like, okay, if we don't score on this next drive, like, we're going to lose this game. Because, like, it was one of those things where it was like, momentum had already swung before Sam Darnold even took a snap.
I think you did yourself dirt. I mean, you knew there were going to be more Seahawks fans
I
there,
did,
right?
but
The Niners. So you accepted the invite.
Yeah.
So you kind of screwed yourself over.
Part of it was because it was like, honestly, like, it was my first time, I'll be honest, it's my first time getting invited to someone's house since being at college.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, I was trying to experience it. And second off, I was like, even if we lose, I was thinking, like, first off, I'm not saying it was going to be, like, super close, like, 3-point game, but I was like, it'll probably be, like,
we all did think it was gonna be closer
somewhat
than what it was.
respectable,
Yeah.
right? And then when it was bad and it started getting worse, and it was like, after a while, I knew, especially by halftime, we're down by 18. I was like, hey, this game, like, it's over.
No.
And so then it was like, I couldn't say anything, but I had kind of already known. I had accepted my fate. It would have honestly, you could say it would have been worse if, like, I mean, in retrospect, it would have been better if it was like 24-21 and you guys won. But in hindsight, like, let's say it was like 24-21 and you guys won on like a last-second field goal, and then I'm sitting there and everyone's like super happy and I'm sitting there like all sad. Like, that would have been even worse.
Now, I will say, I was the only one heckling Connor after the Seahawks were up by like 30 points. I had to let him know. I had to let him know that it was.
The PTSD was crazy. I could see the visions in his head. It's like flashbacks. Bro just came back from World War II. Like,
I've never seen our team like win a Super Bowl. You know, everyone's like, oh, 5 Super Bowls, one of the best franchises of all time. And it's like, well, in my lifetime, they're 0-3. Yeah. So I'm not really sure like when it's going to get to the winning, but I'm still waiting for it to happen.
Yeah. We got a listener text from Monty Tenney, friend of the podcast. Quote, dang, Smith still talking about the Niners, ? We really live in your head rent-free.
That's facts.
No, Monty, you don't. It's just that
Marty's right.
you're a division opponent, so obviously I'm going to talk about you. So, I mean, like...
Marty's right.
Bro. Yeah,
it's because I'm here,
Hop off real quick, bud.
Right.
So, hey, look. Let's say that Sam Darnold does go down with an oblique injury before or during the Super Bowl. Do we think that the man, Drew Lock, can win the Seahawks the Super Bowl?
Drew Lock, he's interesting. I remember, what year was it? Was it 2022 when he came in and against the Eagles?
Yes.
23.
23. Sorry, excuse me.
Yep.
And I mean, it's tough, right? Like if we had to start a game with him, am I super confident he's gonna throw for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns? No. But am I confident that he can manage the game with our defense? Yes, but I don't think we can be super vanilla. Like if he comes in there, you can't just run the ball with K9 3 times or just throw check downs. You still have to utilize the offense in a way that you would with Darnold in there. Mm-hmm. Just tell Locke not to make Locke type of mistakes or whatever. Yeah. And so I feel I'm on 1 through 10. Realistically, I'd probably be like a 6.3. Just our defense gives me hope. I know they gave up a lot of points to the Rams the past 2 times we played them, but against everybody else, they still play really well, and I feel like they could even carry us to win, especially with the Drake May fumbles that are guaranteed.
I would say if he has to play, my confidence that you guys will win is literally 5 out of 10. It's like 50-50 because it's like on one side we see Jared Stidham where it's like, honestly, if maybe they kick the field goal instead of going up for a 4th and 1, it goes to overtime and then something different happens. So if it's like if Jared Stidham with that good of a defense and they're going up against the Patriots, if they can do that well, I could see a similar performance from like Drew Lock, and honestly maybe even better. The one thing I will say though is it's like it would almost kind of be like it almost reminds me of like Shador, like when he would get when he would get thrown into games and then he would just be like kind of mid. It wasn't until he got like he had like the time in practice to get reps with the first team that he really started like. I mean, obviously he wasn't great this year, but he had a couple of solid performances.
He's a Pro Bowl QB.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
He
Okay,
is.
that's a whole different conversation. Technically, yes, but not really.
Alternative.
Okay. Anyways, but it depends. Like it would depend. Like if he was ruled out like the night before, it's like I would have a lot less confidence. But if he was ruled out like, and this wouldn't happen, but if he was ruled out like on Wednesday, which that would be really early, but if he was for whatever reason, I would feel more confident because then he had more time with like the first team.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Drew Lock's career stats versus the Eagles. In 3 games, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, passer rate of 82.6. Pretty solid stat line.
That's actually pretty good.
Let's not forget, though, that like when you guys beat the Eagles, which I was really happy about because you guys were bad and we were trying to win the 1 seed. Anyways, no, but when that was happening, though, the Eagles were going through like this crazy like funk where like they were like 10-1 and then they finished, or maybe like 9-1, and then they finished like I think like 11-6. I think they were like 11-6.
Yeah.
They lost they won like 1 out of their last 6 games. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know.
Yeah, but Drew Lock, he has shown the ability to step in at certain points and succeed at a high level, right? And this is a guy who was drafted high originally, had a lot of hype. He's been through the system multiple times at several NFL teams. I feel solid about him. He's got more experience than Jarrett Stidham did, against the Patriots. The biggest thing to me, I think the key is at what point in the game does he come in, right? Oh, yeah. If he's put in a situation where they're within 10 points, right? I think it's doable. If they're down by 20 or something like that, two to three scores, I think it starts getting a little shaky. Yeah. It's such a big stage. Even Drew Lock, I don't know. I don't believe in it. I think it would take a lot on the Seahawks defense. And turnovers, we saw this a lot in the college football playoffs this year, of just teams would win games without a good offense, but it was the turnover margin that was winning them the football game, and then turning it up right at the right moment, right? Yeah. I think the key in this game, and I'm sure we'll get to more into the game later, but is going to be the takeaways, the turnover margin. And if they're able to flip the switch on a couple of occasions and put Drew Lock in situations where he's within, he's on the Patriots side of the field starting his drive there, I do think there's a shot he could win that football game, but it's going to take a lot of help from the defense. So my take is I don't think he's doing it, but if it's within 10 points, there's a good shot.
I think if he has to come in in the game and you guys are losing at all, I would feel like, nah, it's over. Yeah, honestly, because then it's such a momentum shift where it's you can't overlook him, but at the same time it's dang, their backup quarterback's coming in I feel like defensively you don't want to overlook it, but at the same time it's just dang, now we can really beat up on them.
Yeah, I think it's situational.
Especially if you guys are already losing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's situationally, right? If you gets in the first quarter, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
If it's what actually I think is best for a QB is the 2-minute drill, because at that point it's hurry up offense, it's hike the ball, you have your first and second read, they're going to be open. That I feel like that'd be nice. But if it's third quarter, fourth quarter, and it's a tie game, I don't know if my confidence is that high unless K9 is doing his thing.
Yeah.
But kind of like what Connor was talking about, turnovers, right, in playoffs. I'm pretty sure Indiana in college football, they had no turnovers, I'm pretty sure. And they just played football. Mendoza did not try to force nothing. They played great defense. They forced turnovers, and that's how they won the national championship. So I feel I don't want, obviously, I'm a Seahawks fan. I want to win a Super Bowl no matter what. But do I want to win it with Sam Darnold or whoever's in that QB only throwing 19 passes? No. I want to win it in a score 30, 40 points type of fashion. But, I just feel if Drew Lock got in there, I'm still confident. It's just situationally, right? You want him in there with everything, just quick. You don't want nothing where, the defense is just able to come after him and he's able to just hit his checkdowns and get it going.
I will say, I agree with Mr. Orr. I think that if Drew Lock comes in where the Seahawks are losing, I don't think he's leading you to a win. Mm-hmm. But I think if he comes in midway through the game with the lead, but even a thin margin, I think he can hold off enough to keep you in that game so that you're able to win. We got another text from Marty Teddy. Quotes, I saw a picture of you wearing a Niners hat. Any response to these allegations? It was a fake photo. That was photoshopped. It was definitely not real. Definitely was not taken at the Crimson Corner shoot/semester at all.
With Sam.
Sam Howard, no Niners fan. He faked it. It was fake news, actually.
Actually, I was there. I'm pretty sure it was real. I'm actually the one who took the photo. No. I'm being serious. I was. I don't want.
You're just spreading.
You could say it's AI.
Spreading misinformation out here, Connor. Or what's going on here, bud? Sure. What is going on?
Mr. uses AI to create a diss track.
Yeah, you created a diss track of me using AI.
It was just AI. So
it didn't
even
rhyme.
I didn't write it. It was bad. Obviously, I didn't write it. It was terrible. I said write a diss track against Smith Sly, and I gave it your LinkedIn. I gave it your LinkedIn and your daily evergreen page and your Instagram, and I was go off this information and write a diss track, and it was horrible. The first stanza was all right, this is solid, and then it went, and it was oh no, this is terrible. Just talking about I can actually maybe pull it up, but it's terrible.
Dude,
hilarious. Yeah.
I wasted 30 seconds of my life listening to that video. I can't get it back. You took that from me. 30 minutes of my life, 30 seconds of my life.
You're really gonna lose 3.5 hours of your life when the Seahawks lose the Super Bowl. I'm just kidding.
Harsh. Guys, let's check the headlines real quick. Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. How are we feeling?
I think it's complete BS, right? No matter what, if you want to say he got lucky with Tom Brady, got lucky with Robert Gronkowski, got lucky with Julian Edelman, got lucky with scheming a great defense or whatever, And then as soon as Brady left, I think it was 2019 or whatever year it was, and went to Tampa Bay, he had immediate success. And Belichick, had Mac Jones. I think they were a wild card team and then didn't do nothing else. But I think you can't discredit what Belichick did, right? Because I'm pretty sure he was known as like the GM and head coach of their football team. So he's the one that drafted Brady. He's the one that got Gronk. He's the one that got Edelman. You have to like respect what he did. I saw one thing that was talking about like this one voter. I think his name was like Bill Popey or something like that. He didn't remember if he voted yes or no.
I saw that.
Like, what are you talking about? You don't remember if you voted yes or no on Bill Belichick making the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I just feel like it was really dumb. I saw some people talking about it might be because of Deflategate or Spygate. All due respect, I don't care. He's the greatest coach of all time in the college football, not college football, sorry, in the NFL, based off of accolades. And so I just feel like it's real. Because if he's not in there, who else is a first ballot Hall of Fame coach?
It's as simple as this. He has more rings than any coach in NFL history. I don't care if you want to like say, oh my gosh, Don Shula is a better coach. Oh my gosh, there's 3 coaches in the NFL that in 10 years might be better than him. Like, no, it's Bill Belichick. I mean, we went through so much of this guy ruining our lives for a decade, right? He ruined Seahawks fans' lives. He ruined Giants fans' lives. He ruined...
No, I didn't.
Actually, not really.
Yeah, no, he did.
That's true. That's true.
Chiefs fans.
He ruined Chiefs fans' lives.
Yeah.
He ruined Rams fans' lives. He ruined so many people's lives throughout his career.
Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons. Right? That's the big one, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously...
No, Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
No.
Like, obviously, like... Gosh, I mean, obviously there's the Deflategate stuff. It comes with baggage. Obviously, Tom Brady was a key reason to much of his success.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well,
It's so self-explanatory to me. And there's been so many guys who are not on the same, do not have the same level of resume as Bill Belichick who have made it on the first ballot. It doesn't make much sense. I think there is an issue inside that committee. I do think the Bill Polian thing's a real deal. Like, there should be some concern, and they really should look at the committee and take a step back and be like, okay, how do we go through this process? Is there a little bit of a narrative thing that's going on? And it's like, if there's so much worry about this stuff, like, you really got to take more time and really think deeply. What are the implications of not having him be a first ballot Hall of Famer? I think it goes deep and far, and if they keep the same committee, I think going forward, there's going to be serious issues with coaches that come along Bill Belichick's line who have similar, maybe not similar resumes, but in the same ballpark, that might not get first ballot as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't really get it. Like you said, 8 Super Bowls total, and I feel like all the Super Bowls too. It's like, well, he got carried by Tom Brady, yeah, but I feel like I'm not even sure what the stat is, but I'm pretty sure everyone's like, oh, Tom Brady got carried by his defense. That's something that everyone says. If you're trying to argue like why he's not the GOAT, yeah, but that's thanks to Bill Belichick. So it's like, obvious, like 8 Super Bowls, one of the best. You could say he got carried by Tom Brady, but he also helped with the defense, and that's why he had like a top 10 defense every single time he won the Super Bowl. So there's that. But at the same time, I will say like it's not entirely impossible to make a debate against him, not making the first ballot Hall of Fame. I mean, we look at a guy, and you could. I mean, this just goes like I'm going to connect it to baseball, but like Barry Bonds, he's one of the greatest of all time. He got caught for steroids, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Same with Pete Rose. There are consequences for cheating, and to a certain extent. And also, like, think about it like this too. Like, he was the head coach of the Browns for 4 or 5 years. His record, he was 36-44. And then after Tom Brady left, and obviously, like I said, they still went on that crazy run from 21 to like 2018, 2001 to 2018. But after he left, 7-9. 10-7 with Mac Jones, but then they went 8-9 and then 4-13, and then he was gone. So it's not impossible to debate against that. So yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like, after post Brady, they had the 10-7 season and then the mediocre seasons and the 4-win season, like you said. But I still feel like you can't ignore the 20 years or 20 plus years that he was like a
100%.
Great coach. And you mentioned like Brady had great defenses. It wasn't really till later in like their whole era that like Brady was throwing for all these like 300-yard games, 400-yard games or whatever. In the beginning, it was their defense carrying the offense, right? And so I don't know. I just feel like even the Deflategate, didn't Brady get suspended for that, right? So I'm like, shouldn't it be like if I told you Brady wasn't going to make the Hall of Fame first ballot, you'd be like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I feel like it looks the same way. Like I don't know. I feel like that actually should be more on Brady since Brady had more of the punishment. And I actually don't. I'm be honest. I don't really care about it that much. Like if you're not cheating, you're not trying, as they say. But I don't know. I just feel like they're not the people you do it to. Like I feel like you do that to maybe a Aaron Rodgers if he's like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't do it to a Bill Belichick, or Tom Brady, or we haven't done it to him yet. But yeah, I just feel like it's not the right people to do it to.
Yeah. No, like I said, I 100% agree that he should be first ballot Hall of Fame. I'm just saying that there you can concoct several reasons to say that he shouldn't be first ballot.
Sure.
You can come up with some reasons. All right.
Yeah.
A little bit of a stretch, like I said, but still.
Guys, we've been talking some football for a little bit now. Why don't we just simmer down for just a moment? All right, our simmer down questions of the day. We have a few. Let's kick it off with your top 3 shows of all time.
Top 3, okay. So even as a kid, I was always into like actual people acting. I never really liked to watch animated things or anime or nothing like that. So I'm gonna just go with my top 3 shows right now. There's a show called Psych that I really like. It's about like these 2 friends. One's like a fake psychic, and then it's called Suits. I was watching Suits before it was on Netflix. So before it had all the hype, I was watching it. Yeah. You know, I almost changed my major until my academic advisor told me how much money it was going to cost. And then third would probably be Blacklist. It's on Netflix. It's a really good show. I don't know. It's shows that I just like it, you know. But when I was a kid, it'd be like the Kicking It's of the world.
Oh, Kicking It.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, right.
Man.
Yeah, I did karate at the YMCA for a month.
That makes okay.
I was a white belt the entire time.
Okay.
They never want to bump me up. They never want to bump me up. But yeah, what about you, Connor?
Okay, it sucks, but I am so not well versed in stuff on the small screen. I don't watch shows, man. I can never get myself into them. I rewatched like Star Wars like 20 times as a kid and up until like freaking high school, and that's about it. I don't know. I'm a busy guy. So
why don't we? Yeah, let's talk for movies then. Eh? Top 3 movies of all time.
I had a different idea in mind, but we'll run with the movies.
Okay.
With the movies. Oh gosh, that's hard. My 3 favorite movies of all time. We're gonna go. Okay, Avengers Endgame is in there. I love that.
Okay. Yeah.
Cinematically, it's the best.
Movie.
It's the best like hero movie of all time, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
We're gonna throw Inception in there.
Oh. W pick.
Yeah. Or it's between that or Interstellar for me, going my top 3.
Interstellar's pretty good.
Yeah, for Christopher Nolan movies, right? And then people might not love it for me, because there's still definitely some movies that I would possibly throw in there in the future, but I'm gonna go Titanic as well, dude. Okay. It's a classic, and that's the first movie I ever cried to. I love Titanic, dude. I'm willing to admit that. It was a great movie. So that's my top 3 movies.
How would you react to me saying that I have never seen Titanic?
Honestly, I wouldn't really blast it for you. It's one of those classics that like I think is essential, but it's not as essential as some other movies that you could definitely list. I mean, there's so many franchises you could be like, oh, you should definitely watch that. And you can name a bajillion, right? Yeah. So I think it's one of those ones I wouldn't be as concerned about. But
so what route were you gonna go?
Oh, I was gonna say top 3 kids shows because that's what I can best remember. Yeah, okay. And I'll just run them off real quick. Thomas the Tank Engine. That was like a big thing as a kid. Wild Kratts and Little Einsteins. Those are my top 3. Yeah, that was my jam. I was a PBS kid.
What's up with the reaction here from Mr. Connor Orr? What was that?
Well, it's just top 3 shows. We're talking kids shows. I wasn't ever really I mean, obviously I watched some of those shows, but I was never I don't really remember a lot of them because those were really when I was really, really young. I would say if we're just going my top, I don't even have 3. I have 2. Ooh, because it's really niche. I'm kind of like Connor. I haven't really. Okay, not niche. Not niche. That's bad. But I'm really I don't watch a lot of different shows. Okay. But so my top 2, I don't really have an order. So because it's just kind of tough. Because one is way more nostalgic. But one of them is Breaking Bad.
I'll let you have that.
I love that. I'm actually rewatching it again right now.
Of course you are.
Yeah. My second one, and this is my definitive second one, is Regular Show. That was when I was between ages 8 to 13. That was one of the only things I watched. And then I don't really have a third, but if I had to put a third, I really like sometimes some of the it's not even a show, but it's kind of like a series on Netflix, like the Untold Stories. I really like the Johnny Manziel one.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I rock with that.
Yeah. All right.
Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna have to take off one of my shows. I'm gonna take off Blacklist. I forgot about The Office. I rewatched The Office probably 40 times,
Yeah.
and it's like, you have that show, you just put it on like in the background, you don't even care. I've watched it so many times, I know what's gonna happen, but I'll still sit there and like watch, like when Jim and Pam get in their arguments or when Dwight's being Dwight. I actually dressed up as him my junior year for Halloween at my school.
I love it.
Nobody got it because Dwight Schrute.
Yeah.
Different skin complexion, but
No, I know what you mean. All right. Our second simmer down question is actually a listener question from Madi Tenney. He's asked us, what are your top 3 forms of potatoes in terms of consumption? And I'll kick it off.
in terms of what?
In terms of consumption.
Okay.
And I'm
What
going to
other
say,
way would? Okay.
like, how you prepare them, man.
Oh well, no, I know, but like what
That's
in
an
terms
oddly
of?
weird way to say it.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
gonna
Like
lie.
when you just say like, what do you? Okay,
Three
Give
types of
me,
potatoes.
okay, I'm going to kick it off by just saying, give me fries, give me tater tots, and then give me mashed potatoes with a little bit of gravy.
There you go. Okay, I would say French fries, classic. Now, only French fry I don't like is steak fries though. They gotta. I can't do
That's
something
alright.
unless I have like a lot of sauce. But second would be, I like hash browns. But I like shredded hash browns. Like I like patty too, but shredded hits, especially when they're crispy. Third would be, I'd probably say waffle fries. Those are my I know they're kind of the same as like fries, but I feel like they're different in my
I
opinion.
mess with that.
All right. It took me a while to get in the mashed potatoes game, so I mean, it's still gonna be at the bottom of my top 3, but it's definitely going in there now, especially when you throw garlic in there.
I know.
And I feel like I've gotten pretty decent at making them, and my mom makes fantastic mashed potatoes, so it's
There you
definitely
go.
gonna be in there. What was the second one I'm thinking of? Oh, fried potatoes. So the potato crisps, you fry them in a pan. You put you shredded cheese over them, garlic salt, a little bit of Johnny seasoning,
Heck yeah.
and then take it out of the oven after like 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, it's like a potato chip, but it's a little bit softer.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, or my dad will do them with like he'll do like stir fry with them, and then like some like bacon bits and stuff. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And then French fries #1, easy. McDonald's fries are my favorite fries. It's so basic, but it's so good. Also, steak fries, man. Have you been to Red Robin?
That's the only place I like.
Okay, yeah. That's the place that does it right. Everywhere else, iffy, and crinkle cut, not that great.
It might be my fault because I'll buy like the frozen ones at like Walmart or whatever.
The Walmart ones suck.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to put French fries up there, but I don't know if this is. I mean, I honestly don't. I don't even know if this is controversial. I think it is kind of. I don't really like. I don't like a lot of fast food French fries. I'll be honest.
That's okay.
And this
Sure.
this might be a bad take, but
lukewarm take.
if I'm going to have like if I'm going to it's like the frozen section of like a Walmart, and I'm picking the type of French fries I want, I'm gonna pick the crinkle cut French fry.
What are we doing?
I know. Whatever. So that's
It's so
fun. That
soggy.
I'm not sure if that's my number 1. No, if you do it right, bro, it's good. And then that's not my number
You
1.
can say that about your thing. I don't know if it's that good.
It should be a universal way to cook.
And then I don't know. I really like I like hash browns, like Abe was saying, shredded.
Oh, man, I forgot about hash browns.
And then
That'd be big.
just in general, this is. I mean, you guys kind of alluded to it, but no one ever said it. I'm just gonna say you said fried potatoes, but just in general because that's basically what a chip is. So you basically get any chip.
Potato chips.
I mean, obviously, like some of them are like corn, but still, like most like your potato chips are obviously potato.
All right, before we head out of this segment, I want your guys' opinion on baked potatoes. Where are we at? Do we
Those
think
are
that's
goated.
like a pretty decent one or not?
Well, my beef with it is this. It's so hot, you'll burn your mouth.
That's
and
fair.
then it's like, okay, I'm going to wait till it cools down a little bit, and now it's ice cold.
Right.
That's my one beef with baked potatoes.
that's
that
completely
I
a fair
can't get
take.
behind them.
Yeah, mine. I don't mind a loaded baked potato. I actually like. I think they're called like the potato skins. It's like a baked potato, but it's
Sure,
like just
sure.
like cut in half and it's like 2 things or whatever. Those ones, I'm a big fan of.
Twice baked potatoes, that's the way to go.
had that
Bake them
before.
through twice. You've got all this good stuff in the middle, cheese on top, and then you basically like fork it out of the potato skin. It's like a bowl essentially. Yeah. That's the way to do it because then it's not too hot on the outside. Because if you give it like a minute to cool off, it'll already be cool enough on the inside. So if you're looking for a baked potato, go with twice baked. But
Tap in.
Yeah.
I'm really high on baked potatoes just in general because when I'm at my mom's house specifically, like we have them not like all the time, but like we have them like probably like with at least one meal a week. So like that's
Okay,
the form
yeah.
I eat the most is baked potatoes. So that's why it's higher up for me probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see what you mean. That's going to do it for the Simmer Down. It's also going to do it for our Seahawks segment. I was going to do some predictions for Super Bowl offensive MVP and defensive MVP and final score, but I don't think I'm going to say that for next week's episode because it's going to be a little bit closer to the actual actual day, actual Super Bowl Sunday. So that's going to do it for the Seahawks segment. We're going to take a quick break, but then we're going to be right back in the studio to talk a little bit about the Mariners, talk a little bit about some of the recent news surrounding MLB The Show, and what the Mariners should be doing with Eugenio Suarez still as a free agent. Again, you're listening to Slice of Seattle on KUGR, Cougar College Radio, Fridays at 6 p.m. Smith Sly, joined by Abe Daniel, Connor Seuferling, and Connor Orr in the broadcast booth. We're going to be right back. Don't you dare go away.
This is Slice of Seattle on KUGR Cougar College Radio. Up next, let's talk some Mariners.
Welcome back, everybody, to Slice of Seattle, only on KUGR, Cougar College Radio. You can listen to it on the TuneIn app, or if you have Apple Music, you can go to the radio side of Apple Music to be able to tune in. And if you want to catch this episode and any other episodes after they have been live on the air, you can check it out on the YouTube, the Slice of Seattle YouTube. We're back in the booth. It's 6:51 p.m. on January 30th. I got Connor Orr, Connor Seuferling, and Abe Daniel in the booth. In our last segment of the day to close it out, we're talking a little bit of Mariners. Hey guys, let's check in with the headlines. Look, Jacob Wilson, 7 years, $70 million to stay with the Oakland A's. How are you feeling?
Well, I'll weigh in on this. I shameless plug for myself, I guess, but I've met this guy, and he's a nice guy. He's a great guy. I met him at spring training last season. Phenomenal player, super humble, has a history of baseball running in his family. He's somebody that's committed to this franchise, and he was a diamond in the rough for sure. He's shortstop? Yeah, he's shortstop. So he's playing the most important defensive position on the diamonds. He's good at it. He's a great defender.
Yeah.
He hits the ball well. He's not a power guy, right? But he's gonna play the contact great. Hit 311 last season, 800 OPS. I mean, he's just a solid all-around player, and he's a guy that's going to sit in that position for a long time. He's just the cornerstone of that infield, and so this feels like a steal to me. I know it's a little bit early in his career. Well, I think second season fully in the big leagues now, but he was an all-star this season early on. $10 million a year, I don't know. That feels like a bit of an underpay by baseball standards.
Yeah.
If I had to have guessed for somebody of his caliber at this point in his career, obviously not the biggest of names, but I would have guessed more in that 20 to 25 million range. That, at the least. But I don't know. What about you, Smith?
I'm definitely, what this tells me, especially the dollar amounts, tells me that I'm still very scared of the A's. Like, I wasn't scared of them last year because they were showing the inklings of what they're going to be with Big Wilson and Nick Brooks. And it's a really, really good team. Young team. A lot of really young guys. Like, people are talking about like the Nationals being like, they're a really young team. They're really scary. I'm not scared of the Nationals whatsoever. I'm scared of the Oakland Athletics.
Because they actually have potential, and it's coming to fruition now.
And they're actually good right now. And the fact that he just takes this deal, like you said, only $10 million a year for a second first. Like, not like this isn't an entry deal. This is his second contract with the A's, right? He could have made his bag.
And he's an all-star. I mean,
he could have asked for significantly more money, but he's pulling trying to take I don't know what exactly the offers were in what they were discussing, but I imagine he probably took less than what he could have gotten, especially if he went to another team. So he's taken less to be on a team that has the potential to be really good. So that's what really concerns me about this deal, is that the Mariners might run into a spoiler team in the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, if you look like 2 to 3 years down the line, this definitely could be a consistent wildcard team going forward. Now, the key's going to be keeping their young players. They've lost a few in the past few years. Mason Miller is gone now as well.
Yeah,
that's a
brutal.
key name who is really going to anchor that bullpen for a long time. And so it's going to be convincing them to stay. Now, I think going to the Vegas market is probably going to be a big deal to a lot of players, especially because most of these young guys just didn't even get a chance to play in the Coliseum. So it's not they're hurt by the legacy of the Coliseum, right? Now they have the opportunity to play in a market where there's going to be, I think at least they're hoping, quite a bit of baseball fervor just because of they haven't had it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But given that it's a 7-year contract and they're kind of locked into him, this is looking good for the A's.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little nervous at the moment as a big Mariners fan with this year with being an opportunity to possibly push into the World Series if the A's are looking pretty good. And the A's are that team that kind of have the number of the Mariners from time to time, so they definitely scare me, and this makes them a lot more scary in my personal opinion. But that's going to do it for that headline check, and let's dive a little bit more into the Mariners. Guys, the big news, unfortunately, much to my chagrin, Aaron Judge is on the cover of MLB the Show 2026. I am absolutely disgusted.
I'm actually a fan of putting the best players on the cover of games. I feel like it incentivizes. What I actually would like to see is, with College Football 25, how they had all the players on it. Now, I know Donovan Edwards and Ryan Williams were terrible next year, and only Jermaine Smith was good. But I don't know, I feel like whenever, I want it in the NFL as well. They should do it in baseball, where you just have, Aaron Judge up there, Shohei, Yamamoto. I watched him in Game 7 against the Blue Jays. That's the only baseball game I've ever watched in my life, and he might be the best player ever. But, no, I'm a fan of putting, obviously you want to put the people who had, great seasons. Cal Ray probably could have been on there, just a little Mariners guy. But, no, I just feel like, putting the best players on there just makes sense to a casual like me.
My issue with that is there's 136 FBS teams with giant rosters. That's a bigger pool to choose from. Yeah. So and also they're graduates, so some of them leave, right? Whereas with the NFL or the NBA or the MLB, those guys are having 20-year careers sometimes, 15-year careers. They're going to be sticking around for a while. The show cover with your philosophy is going to be Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and Cal Raleigh for 20 years in a row.
Yeah.
So, but I get where you're coming from. Maybe mixing up. Maybe we go with some different all-stars every year or something like that. Make it unique, but. It's just a shame. I've gotten over the Aaron Judge hype. It's we get it. He's good, right? Oh my gosh, but let's go with the narrative that's actually matters in this situation. And I think what's so unique about Cal Raleigh is he's a catcher. It's kind of as simple as that. Yeah. It was a historic season for a position that generally does not have historic seasons like this. We haven't seen it since Buster Posey, and then before that, I'm not great with my catcher history, but it had been a long time before that since we had such a legendary catcher season. Yeah. And we've seen this from Aaron Judge before, and it wasn't so much of a significant difference between the two. Yeah. There's absolutely an argument that Aaron Judge was statistically better than Cal Raleigh. He probably was.
This is true. Yes.
Right? Yeah. OPS was off the charts. Was leading the league.
Crazy.
Batting average was crazy. He was leading in most stats besides home runs, right? Totally fair. Yeah. That doesn't mean we need to immediately put him back on the cover, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, is he 2 years removed now from being on the cover?
I believe so, yes.
I don't know. It feels like putting Brady on the cover every single season in a row that he's winning the Super Bowl, right? Let's not do that again. Yeah. So mix it up. Give Cal his flowers. I don't know.
I feel it's kind of tricky, right? 3 times.
It's kind of tricky.
I don't know. I'm not a big baseball guy. I just feel like if we look at it, I feel like when you ask a lot of younger kids who they want to be like when they grow up, they're not like, oh, I want to be like Cal Raleigh. And all because
now they are.
Well, yeah, maybe now
they are.
No, I know, but for the past 8-9 years, it's been oh, Aaron Judge, he's the best hitter in the league, right? And so it's maybe it's just kind of a trend now. It's we're going to put the guy that everyone looks up to. It's because Cal Raleigh's just kind of come out of I'm not saying nowhere, but kind of recently out of nowhere. No one was if you would have told people at the beginning of the season oh yeah, he's going to hit 60 home runs, we'd be no way.
I think when you release an annual game, the whole point is to be catching up with the status of the league, right? And so this is why all news outlets, ESPN, Fox Sports, whatever, the CBS, they all write a top 50, top 100. This is why the NFL does an NFL rank after every single season, right? Is because it's taking a status check of the entire league. And so I think what should be happening is year over year, picking the hottest player or the player that's trending up the highest, right? The new new supposedly face of the league every single season. And I think that Cal Raleigh has a significant argument for taking that spot this season from Aaron Judge, regardless of the MVP or not.
I'm not sure if I believe in this, but Smith, I want your opinion. I'm not saying why do you think it happened, but do you think part of it was East Coast bias?
Is that even a question? That's just the answer. It's just
do you think literally. But do you think that's the only answer or what? What do you think else is the reason why?
I mean, it's kind of the only one I can really point to as being a significant factor. It is because it is a bunch of the people making these decisions are a bunch of old people who live on the East Coast and who don't care about Seattle sports or anything. The only West Coast team they care about is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Why? Because they have the most money out of any team and have the biggest names on the team. And all I'll say about this for the Aaron Judge being on the cover of MLB The Show is this. The only reason why anyone's going to remember this season from Aaron Judge is because he won the MVP and he was on the cover. That's the only reason why they will remember it. The reason why they're going to remember Cal is because he had the most historic season from a catcher, the most historic home run season from a Mariner. He is arguably the greatest catcher in the game right now. He's growing the game. And like you said, Connor, you said that it's about who people look up to. There are so many people who look up to Cal Raleigh because he is on the Mariners, who have made it to the furthest they've gone in playoff history, almost made it to their first World Series appearance. He's doing things by a catcher that's never been done before. And for that, Aaron Judge is this 6'8", 300-pound behemoth just mashing home runs. It's like, oh yeah, no duh, he's gonna be a great hitter. Cal Raleigh is like half of him, and he's hit more home runs than him. Well, and Aaron Judge in 2022 hit 62 home runs, had a 60-plus home run season. What happened that year? He won the MVP. Cal Raleigh has a 60-plus home run season. What does he get? Nothing. And that is ridiculous, and I am absolutely disgusted. Connor, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to add to, to help your argument, it's also the first time the Mariners won their division, like 24 years?
Yeah.
So you could,
just about. I'm pretty sure.
So that kind of proves it. So, that kind of gives you another point, because I feel like the Mariners definitely kind of went, I'm not sure. I'm not a big baseball guy. I just feel like at the beginning of the year, if you would have said, like, oh, they were one game away from making the World Series, a lot of fans would be like, dang. But for the Yankees, it's like they didn't even win their division. So it's like...
Exactly, yes.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I know. It's enraging, and as a Mariner fan, I'm very frustrated by it, unless you're Abe here, and he's saying that you...
No, so, okay. let me rephrase it, right? I feel like when someone has, like, an amazing season, that they should be on the cover the next year, especially when they're, like, an underdog. But I also feel like when I was talking about earlier, like, maybe how many baseball teams is there in the MLB?
32.
You could take one player from each one. You could take 30. You could take 30.
32 is the NHL. That's right.
And NFL.
You can take 30 of the guys, and you can just rotate them. You could put Cal Raleigh. I said his name wrong the first time, but put him right in the center, in the middle. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel because you also need him just for, like, I feel like a marketing thing is a lot easier. Now, too, I don't know what the baseball fan base is, but you definitely should prioritize the player who's coming off a historic season.
Yeah,
based on what you guys are saying.
It kind of actually, what they could have done is kind of like, this actually is a point I just thought about, but on the cover of Madden 22, I'm not sure many of y'all remember, on one side it was like Tom Brady, the other side was Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. So you have the guy who's kind of been like that guy for so long, so they could have done something like that where it's like, okay, like obviously not saying Cal Raleigh has just been like nobody, and then this one season he popped off. He's been solid, but it's like we have the kind of more kind of up and coming guy on one side, and the other guy is like Aaron Judge. I don't know. So maybe you do a two-person. I honestly didn't like that Madden, so I don't know, but
terrible.
Man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna not give Aaron Judge his flowers. He is. I do believe this. He's probably will end up being the greatest right-handed hitter of all time at the moment until someone comes and dethrones him. But
like
still,
me.
What?
Like me.
You can't hit baseball.
I'm just kidding.
What's going on here, bud?
Too freaking old already.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What's going on? I was gonna talk a little bit more about the Mariners, but we are just about out of time. It is 7:02 p.m. here in the broadcast booth in beautiful Pullman, Washington. Guys, thank you guys so much for being on the show today. Abe Daniel, Connor Seuferling, and Connor Orr. Guys, if people listening want to get some more content from each of you guys, where can they go to find you guys?
Yeah, for me, you can look up Ibrahim Daniel on TikTok, IBRAHIM Daniel. Also, sometimes post on Instagram at Abe Media. Nice. So you can also look at that. Got more content on the way.
I'm kind of all over the place. Crimson Corner Podcast. That's kind of the main way you can find my name right now. I just started a new media account called Seuferling TV. That's where I'm going to be posting all my news and sports stuff over the semester, so go check me out there. And if you're interested in writing portfolio stuff, go to the Daily Evergreen. But just type my name in Google and you'll find me somewhere.
It'll pop up.
That's Aura. Me is kind of similar to Connor. Daily Evergreen. So on the Daily Evergreen. And then the other place would be on Instagram. Connor. I got a new page called Connor Reports Sports. So, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much for being in the booth today. I think we're about to get kicked out by someone trying to get in the booth. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Talked a little Seahawks, talked a little bit of Mariners. If you want to catch this episode after, if you've missed something that you want to go back and listen to, you can always catch it on YouTube to listen to this episode and every other episode. Make sure to subscribe to the Instagram as well. It's Slice of Seattle Radio. I'm Smith Sly in the broadcast booth. That's going to do it for today's episode. Remember, it is a great day to have a great day, and go Cougs.